you guys. Today, the struggle was real. Super, super duper real. So that is the finished product. But I gotta tell you, the road and the journey to get there was, so painful. So recently I discovered this fun new trick to making backgrounds, which is by using spray paint and stencils. Now I have like a million spray paints and stencils. I never thought to marry the two, and oh my god, it's so fun. So I did two projects in the last couple weeks that I love doing. One's gonna appear in my upcoming book called Mixed Media Magic. The next one I'm going to be teaching. And so this one I thought, well, no problem. I've done it twice. I'm going to bang out a third one. Yeah, no. It was a struggle from beginning to end. I should have done the background and then just stopped. Just quit while I was ahead. So those are the colors that I picked out. Super happy about them. Happy how they go together. I do have a photo reference, which was a bad idea. Sometimes I personally do better with a reference of like digital art or someone else's art, and then I make it like my own and differently. The process is usually different, especially if I am using like a digital art reference. I can't recreate that with, my random art supplies. And so I'm using a photograph in this case, but oh my god, the struggle was so hard the whole time. First of all, she had a very wide face, and while perhaps her face width was accurate to the photo, first of all, the angle was all wrong for me the entire time. There it looks okay. And again, I'm using the same process that I used my last two projects, where I collage on top of my background, and I'm super used to collaging under my background. I do the collage first, and then I paint over it so the texture is like all buried underneath. And this new way that I learned recently, you put the collage on top of your background, and then you have to kind of like figure out how to like ooch it in there and hide it and be creative with it, which is cool. And like I said, I had fantastic success the last two times, and this one I just felt like it was like an utter flop. So here I am with my Tim Holtz tissue paper, and I'm putting it all around, and I feel like things are going well at this point. I feel like I have a plan to incorporate those collage pieces into my background, and I like having the tissue paper show through the face, right? I have some gesso under there to kind of make it pop, and then I can plan skin tones on top of that, and I'm using matte medium to adhere all that down. But oh my god, I don't even know what happened. This project took me back to like being a beginner and trying to nail down just face angles, and I couldn't put my finger on what was off about my piece, but I knew it was off pretty much the entire time, and it was driving me to drink at 9 o'clock in the morning this morning. So I think I worked it out, but it was a real pain in my bahoon. And also, like, at this point, my background is so busy, which I don't love, like an overly busy background. I think it detracts from your piece. So that already was like rubbing me the wrong way. And again, the last two pieces, I didn't have that problem. It was a really busy background, and it didn't kind of piss me off the way that this one is starting to. So that was kind of like problem number one, was how just insanely busy that background was. And I didn't successfully tie in. You can look at it right there. It's just like a hot mess. I have all the spray paints, and then I have like random streaks of collage, and then the colors. And the colors don't even match really the spray paints under it, so that was like problem number one. Problem number two was probably right there when I'm doing the eyes. See how wonky toned they are? And the angle, well actually eyes, nose, and mouth, and chin. The mouth is too big. It was, it's one of those portraits that is a 3/4, but not 3/4. Like in the photograph, like her mouth is straight on, but really it's tilting to the side. And at this point, she looks like a female, but there's like a strong portion of this process where I am most definitely painting a dude, like for a while. You'll see what I mean when I get to it. And it was driving me nuts. So here I'm using my gelatos, which I wasn't using the last couple days, but that's fine, neither here nor there. And again, at this point, she looks like a woman. That's cool. But then I noticed the photograph, in my drawing, I'm depicting her as having that narrow face shape, and then in the photograph I'm looking, and I realize like there's a lot more. Her face isn't quite as 3/4 as I have it painted here. So I start like adding on face to her on that turn side. Like I add on her face, right? Which I should just never have done. Right there, I'm trying to add on because that's what I'm seeing in the photograph. That was the worst move. I should have just kept going what I had going and fixed the mouth, which is a hot mess and the wrong angle and not 3/4. Okay? But yeah, this project was crazy. So that's some gesso, and I'm like working through the normal aches and pains of the ugly phase at this point, and there's some gesso, and I'm trying to get things like established and work through the ugly phase. I always can kind of manage to eke out a non-ugly phase on the other side, but you know, this entire project, her face is off. And if your face is off and the whole prospect is to make a face, that's not good. That's not good, you guys. So yeah, her mouth is off right now, and look at her eyes are wonky. So I'm using my Stabilo, my chubby Stabilos, and I thought, oh, this is fun. I'll use a credit card to do her hair. I mean, look at that. That's just dumb. That just looks stupid. And as soon as I did it, I was like, oh yeah, that looks stupid. So, you know, and then I'm like, oh crap, running Stabilo through there, wondering how I'm gonna salvage this. So I'm thinking, no problem. I hate the background anyways. I hate her hair. Forget it. I'm just gonna gesso with my brayer over the whole damn thing and see if that can like make sense of anything. Yeah, and then I just stop and I put Mod Podge everywhere because I'm just kind of don't know what else to do at this point. And I'm already quite a bit of, you know, I've invested a lot of time in this point, and I'm trying to see, sometimes, if, you know, I'm trying to see if I can salvage it, right? That's pretty much the name of the game. So now, as I am drawing this is the part where all I can see right here is a man. This is where my drag queen friend comes out. Now, I love drag queens. I'm all about it. But it wasn't really like my objective when I set out for doing what I thought was gonna be just, you know, like a woman. So I'm kind of freaking out. Again, the shading and the angles being so wrong, I see a man with like a little bit of eyelashes. And the problem ended up being really the jawline. So I kind of fix it up a little bit, but can you guys see the man in this? It's all I can see right now. It's driving me nuts. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it's the hair. So I'm using my Pit Pens, and I'm kind of trying to see if I can fix this person using my drawing skills, since I clearly wasn't doing her any favors doing my painting skills. Yeah. And then so I'm like, okay, well, what if we do like a cat eye? That saved me many times. No, nope. It's just a drag queen with cat eyes. Yep. And again, love me some drag queens, just not what I was going for in this particular project on this particular day. And I could not, again, put my finger on what the heck was wrong. I don't know if this ever happens to you guys, but like something is gone awry and you just don't know how to fix it. So I bling her up with some extra like pizzazzy highlights. I try to make her maybe smile. And the fact of the matter is, it's really her chin that's off. So I'm trying to go at it with the shading, which does do some improvement in terms of how you're reading her face, for sure, like any three-dimensional object. But yeah, it takes more than shading. Sometimes you just can't save your work, and I am really stressing out at this point. Even with the eyelashes, even with the hair, it's just not right. I still see a man under all those layers and all that hair. So then now, you know, I'm just like, forget it, I'm just playing, right? I'm just chucking in some paint markers. And I'm trying to figure out, put my finger on what is wrong and how to fix it. Does that ever happen to you guys? You know what would be awesome? If that has ever happened to you, can you tell me in the comment section? Because Yeah, I think that would make me feel better if I knew I wasn't alone. So then I realized her hair is like way too high and poofy. So I'm like, oh, I'll just gesso it down. I'll just make it look like I meant to do that. This is a brand new stencil I hadn't used before. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just stencil black all the way on top to maybe like distract the viewer's eye from realizing that she's so stupid. And I actually think it might work a little bit. I actually really love that kind of, you know, chicken wire fence kind of effect. And then I just drag the black all around it. And I think another problem with this piece is that when you work on a big canvas and you have it flat, you lose all perspective. So it's much better if you're going to work on a larger anything to you have to look at your subject up and down vertically, not on a table. That is like a huge problem. And I know better than that than to do that. So just keep that in mind. I think I would have been out of the woods a lot quicker if I had just put her up instead of having her down flat. So that's huge. So learn from my mistake. And this is when I figure out it is her jawline that is causing all these problems and making her look really mannish. So I go ahead with my black pip pen and see how I just shave off? I just shaved off and bam, now she is female. And that's all it was. It was like her jaw was just too mighty for her dainty face. So thank God I caught it like before I deemed it over. But the whole process was so frustrating. I just kind of hated her the whole time because she was fighting. And I don't like that. I like to be free and to play. But I definitely learned a lot. And that is really the main point in doing so many renditions and painting every single day. Every piece is not going to be a masterpiece, and that's fine. And now every time I look at her, I'm going to seethe inside. But I'm going to remember the struggle, and I'll remember to be careful the next time and to make sure I prop it up just like that so I can see what I've done wrong and I can fix those mistakes. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for weekly videos, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye, guys.